Hey students, I'd like to just talk to you real quickly about the final project to give you a little bit more clarity. And also, I would like to tell you a little bit more about the expectations for the next few weeks so you can make sure to maximize your grades. So we'll go over the final project grade and also just grades in general. So with that said, let's start by just going over the basic outlines of a paper and expectations. As far as expectations, on the length of the paper, I mentioned it before, of course, several times, but it really doesn't matter how long the paper is. It could be 2 pages, it could be 5, it could be 15. It really doesn't matter. Here is what I'm looking for. The first thing is I'm looking for and hoping that you're selecting a topic that really is meaningful to you. Meaningful meaning that maybe there's something in your life that you want to change, that you want to be better at. And or maybe it was a negative event that happened in your life, and you've hopefully used the information that you learned in this course and reading the text or through the course videos to better understand that event and how it's made you who you are today. So, of course, and that's really the biggest goal for me as your professor, and is to give you the information presented in a way that's meaningful, that's applicable in your own life, that is relatable, that you can take it and not just understand that part about psychology or understand more about psychology. I want you to truly understand more about yourself, to have better self-awareness, to understand why you do the things you do, whether it's a good habit, a bad habit, to help you make better decisions in your life. And I know that's a really big goal for someone like me, especially in an asynchronous course, to have an expectation or hope that I'm changing students' lives. But really, if I'm not, then what's the point? So I need to know, and this paper is really for me too, to know, am I really connecting with students that I can't see every day, or that I really don't know? Some of you I've never, even a few of you I've never spoken to. I've spoken to most of you, or at least communicated through text and email. And I wish it was more. However, I'm really looking to see, did you really grasp the content? Were you able to apply this in your life? And how did it impact you? If it impacted you at all, that's what I need to know. So your paper, I want it to be meaningful, a topic that's meaningful. And if it's meaningful, your paper is just, quite frankly, it's going to be better. It's something, if you care about it, you're going to put in more work. It's going to make more sense to you. And it's not just you wasting time turning in a paper. You're actually doing this research and learning about how you can improve the chances of you having success in your life, however you define success to be. Let's talk a little bit about the expectations of the paper and the presentation as well. Again, most of you I know are going to do this paper on your own and presentation. However, you don't have to be alone. You can actually work with a partner on this. The reason why in discussion post 2, I asked you so early on to start thinking about what you would like to write your final project about is because I wanted you to just start processing the information and understanding that I'm going to ask that of you in the later part of this course. And also, I wanted you to see, is there another person in the class that maybe has a similar interest or a topic that they would like to research and write about? And so go back to discussion post 2 and see if there's someone else that shares your idea. But if that topic is not really the right topic for you, if it's something you just kind of picked because you needed to pick one at the very beginning of class, please change it. There's no reason to put your time and effort into a paper that you really don't care about. So change it to a better topic that's something, hopefully it's more meaningful and deeper, has a deeper meaning to you. So the paper, even if you do use a partner, you still have to turn in your own paper, your own work. And again, do not use AI, generative AI, ChatGPT, to write your paper. You can use it to get an idea, but I want this to be your own words. I would prefer you to have a poorly written paper than a well-written paper that was generated from someone else or from a technology. So it's not an English paper. I'm not taking off for grammatical errors. There is a 25% of the grade that is based on the quality of your work. However, and again, I'm not looking for a perfectly written paper. I'm looking for a meaningful paper that is well written or well structured. So let me tell you about, and I'm going to show you some sample papers of what some students had turned in during actually the last semester. So as far as your basic outline of your paper, doesn't matter, of course, whatever the length of your paper is, but I want it to be double spaced. I want you to have a title page. I'll show you what that looks like. But here is the basic structure of a motivational change plan or this type of paper that you're writing. You're going to have an introductory paragraph. This should start with an intention grabber, something that should capture that reader's attention, make it powerful, an impact statement that is very clear what this paper is going to be about, and also what your position is on the paper. So having short stories of your personal life experiences are important, but in this first paragraph, that it's just a major impact statement. The rest of that paragraph in the introduction should be an overview of the issues that you're going to tell the reader what you're about to tell them about in the paper. So think about each sentence. Opening sentence, powerful. The next sentence could be really a summary of paragraph 1. The third sentence would be a paragraph 2 summary. The fourth sentence could be maybe the final. And then your last sentence in that first paragraph should be a summary of your findings, which would be your conclusion, your final paragraph. And you have to have APA references. I want you to reference whether it was the textbook, it was a research paper you found, if it were the course video that you listened to that I talked about. You have to reference that idea. So the first sentence I recommend of each paragraph be, what is this next paragraph going to be about? It's kind of a summary statement. And you could say research shows that teens that watch social media for more than 3 hours a day reduce the amount of dopamine in their brain, which causes the negative effect of depression and suicidal ideation or something, whatever that research you found. And then where did you find that? You would put an APA citation of where you found that fact, and then you would support it through the rest of the paragraph. Make sure each one of your paragraphs, you stay with that topic and you don't veer from it. That's the paragraph. That's the main thing you're writing about, is what that first sentence is. Your third paragraph, because you have an intro, then your first point, then your second point would be your third paragraph. That's going to be your next main point that you would like to cover. And then, of course, depending on how many additional paragraphs you have, then your final paragraph is a conclusion, a summary of your findings, and you can read on the screen and, of course, pause the video to kind of go through it. And I'll also attach this at the beginning. I think it's in the course, maybe in the very last week topic. I have all of these for you to download as well. So this just kind of tells you, here's an introduction. This is something I just kind of put together. It's been a while, but this is just kind of telling you how to set up that paper. So let me give you a couple of sample papers. Now, these are perfect score papers. I don't expect your paper to be, this well written. I hope it is, but I just, need you to write a paper that's meaningful again, and it does have some structure to it. So here's what your title pages look like. The title for your presentation or your paper, your name, your campus, the course name, my name, and the date that you turn it in. And then here's a header with the title of the paper and the page number. And then you don't have to have a title to each one of these paragraphs, but if it helps you for writing it, that's fine. But you have your first paragraph. Here's what's referred to as an in-text or inline citation through APA 7 is what it's called, inline citation. If you'd like to know how to do that, I have attached information for that for you as well. If it's a website that you found it from, then you can quote the website very easily. You get an APA generator. Just look that up in Google search and you're going to find, I think Scribber is the easiest one to use, that you go to and you copy that URL for the website, you paste it in Scribber or the website generator, and it's going to quote it for you, and you just take that and you can actually plug that in to a reference page, which is right down here. So you can use a reference page. You could just put numbers and then end up putting, if you'd like, just put like number 1 right here, put a 1, and then putting your reference page 1 at the end if you like. That just, so there are a couple of different options there. So this is kind of a paper and how someone turned it in, going through that about the negative effects of social media. It was a very powerful presentation. Again, these students did this live in a classroom setting, and most of them paired up with a friend or two, and they were very, very powerful presentations, and what they learned was truly amazing. So that's one presentation. Here's another sample presentation that I'll just run through. This one was on why bullies bully, and a couple of students that had been bullied, and actually one student that was a bully gave this presentation. It was another very impactful presentation about what the negative effects are and the difference between girls and boys when they bully. You know, boys are more physical, girls are more social media, that type of bullying. And they talked about how the social media bully is really the most powerful and has the most negative effects on the quality of life. So there's that one. Now in the presentation, you can simply turn on your your phone and talk about your presentation. I don't want you to read it, but you can just talk about it, and that's fine. And you'll probably, as long as it's impactful and it's you and it talks about what you've learned, don't want it to be, you know, on average, probably 5 minutes. It's okay if it goes over, but it's going to be hard to do it in less than 5 minutes. But talk about what you learned and summarize at least your paper. I find it easier to just put together a really quick PowerPoint that kind of, each one of these slides can be a chapter. A paragraph. So a summary of a paragraph. So it kind of keeps you on point. So when you record yourself on the screen, or you, however you choose to record it, you know, if you do a PowerPoint presentation and you walk through it and you present the information, I can tell you that if you don't want to take any chance and you would want a perfect grade on this, write your report and do a presentation using a PowerPoint. I'll just tell you that. If you want, if a 90 is okay, do a great paper and just record yourself on a video. You know, so it's the extra effort that would get you from a 90, say, to a 100. So this is a presentation, again, not required, but it will probably generate a better grade for you. Here's another one. These students, 3 students, did it on happiness and how it relates to success, future success, defining happiness. And of course, what they did, they used some of the diagrams and illustrations from the book, and they quoted the book. So I thought they did a great job on that as well. So that's about the presentation. Please let me know if you have any questions on that. And I would be happy to help you out, help you with the citations or whatever you would like. Please don't send me your report early and say, hey, can you look at this before I turn it in? I really don't have time for that, but I do have time to help you and to answer questions. So on your final project, this is 20% of your entire grade. Real quick about the quizzes too. I'm surprised how many students aren't watching the videos in their entirety, or they're speeding it up and going through it very quickly so you can tell how long you're on it. If I were to put a correlation between the length of time that students are spending watching videos and the average grade for this class, it is a perfect, almost a perfect correlation, with the exception of one person that watches them quickly, but for some reason has perfect scores on everything, which is really cool. But retains information, but reads the book. I know that, you know, she reads the book and does a lot of work, and this is very interesting to her. So, you know, I think, you know, watching the videos, the reason why it's so important to watch those course videos, I'm giving you almost every single one of the answers for the quiz in the video. And there's a video on each chapter. So make sure you're watching each video before you take your quiz, but don't fail to do it and just read the book and have OneNote open and expect that you're going to get a great grade on your quiz. It doesn't work that way. You have to watch the videos. So, and there's some students that actually have taken the quizzes without watching the videos and then wonder why they have a horrible grade. And that's the reason, you know, because they're not getting that extra support. And how in the world can you actually take a quiz on the week's assignment when you haven't watched the lecture video? It doesn't make sense. So please watch those before you take the next 2 quizzes. Also, make sure that you do your discussion post and when you watch the video, that's, you know, 20% of your grade. That's as much as the final project. Look at this, watching the videos. The reason I did that is just to I know it takes time. So a big part of your grade is just showing up and doing the work. Watch that video. The other 10% of your grade is a discussion post. There's some students that didn't do a discussion post every week, and there's not going to be a chance to make up. We only had that one-time opportunity because there were some extenuating circumstances with some students that thought they were removed for the course, and they got notification they were removed, but then they did not get a notification that they had been immediately re-added, so they were behind in their work. So since I gave the exception to make up work for them, I decided to give everyone that opportunity to make up work. That was a one-time opportunity. So make sure you get these videos, you watch them using the D2L link, and you're also you are posting on that discussion board. Your final project, 25% of your grade is gonna be, I'm gonna look and see, did you use a personal example of your change plan represents something from the book that you're talking about. This is something I need to change or something that I want to work on. The next 25%, are you using a theory that you learned from the book or from the course videos? And I want to just see, are you appropriately applying that theory to your personal change plan? Very easy to do. So that's 50% of your grade already. The other 25%, the quality and proper APA in-text citation. Of course, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I just want to make sure you do reference where you've got that idea. So at least a few APA in-text citations. And then the final 25% is the quality of your presentation. I say no more than 5 minutes. It's okay to be more. It's going to be hard to be less, but that's just kind of a time frame. It's about 5 minutes for your presentation. Anyway, thank you for listening to this video. I am here for you. Hopefully you know that. If you have any questions or concerns, or you would like some even tips on how to work, what to do on the final project, I'm here for you. I can also help you if you really are worried about your grade and you would like to do better on your last few quizzes. Just make sure you do it before Thursday, because my daughter's getting married in Dallas and I am leaving on Thursday late afternoon. So I will not have the opportunity to do the regular scheduled Thursday for those of you that will sign on or talk to me on Thursday, but I will be on Wednesday. So, that same link on Wednesday, same time. If you would have questions, it's just an open office hour. Just sign in and I will answer all the questions that you have. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.